I'm Mark Ainley from Sense of Space Contemporary Feng Shui. Welcome to another episode in which we talk about how to enhance your home to enhance your life experience. Today I'm going to talk about the ever popular and unpopular topic of clutter. Now, I think a lot of people imagine that Feng Shui means you have to have a minimalist space, and that's actually not true. What Feng Shui is about is having a conscious relationship with what you possess and what you have in your home and in your life. And clutter, by definition, there are elements where you do not have a conscious relationship. It's the lack of consciousness and the lack of fit, the lack of belonging, that leads to clutter. So clutter is not just about having too much stuff. And clutter can happen even if you don't have too much stuff. There are 3 criteria that your possessions need to meet in order not to become clutter. They need to be well used, they need to be stored where they belong, and you need to have enough space to keep them in the right place. Let's look at each one of those. Every item that you possess should be welcomed and used. That's why you have it in your space. So the clothes that you possess should be worn. The books that you have should be read. All of the items should be used at least regularly, and regularly we can look at even within the space of a year, depending on how much storage you have. But if you're keeping items that you're not using, you have things that are taking up space that aren't living their purpose. So there's a disparity between the fact that they're in your space, but why would they be in your space if they're not being used? That adds a level of clutterness to these items. It creates the feeling that these items are clutter, that they're just physical matter without purpose. And that can actually create some anxiety because we all have purpose in our lives and we want to feel that we have a purpose and that we belong. So when things in your space don't have a purpose, we can start to question our own purpose and how we fit in. So it's really important to ensure that you're using things in your space. So it doesn't mean that you shouldn't have many books or you shouldn't have many clothes. It means that the ones you have should be well used. The second standard is that the items that you possess should be stored where they belong. So books belong in a bookcase. Clothes belong in dressers or in a closet. Books do not belong stacked on your nightstand. One book, sure, because you're hopefully reading one book at a time. But when you have lots of things placed where they don't really reside, where the space doesn't match the function, that also creates a level of anxiety, and there's a mismatch between the items and the space that they're in. And that creates the feeling that these items are clutter. The energy doesn't flow because things don't fit properly. That fitting properly takes us to the third criterion, and that's having enough space. This means that you should have enough space on your bookshelves for all of your books. You should have enough space in your kitchen cabinets for all of your food and all of your plates and bowls and so on. You should have enough space in your closet and in your dressers for all of your clothing. If that's not the case, then those items can start to feel like they're clutter because there isn't a sense of ease in terms of being able to access and find, easily take and put back these items. The general rule of thumb that I like to follow is having storage spaces 70% full. So your closets or your bookcases or your cabinets at about 70% capacity. That means that there's enough air and enough space to make it possible for you to easily access and put back the items. Now, I've seen bookcases and closets which are probably at about 130% full, where you couldn't get a blade of a knife between the clothes that are hanging in the closet and the books are double layered and lying horizontally on top of the stacks that are vertical and so on. And that creates a visual sense of disorder, which is very different than if you artistically place your books in different positions and yet also have space around them, or you have space on your bookcase for some photos or some beautiful objects to recontextualize your display. So it's very important that you have enough space for these items, that they be stored there, and that they also be used on at least what might be considered a regular basis of some time throughout the course of a year. So I'm not saying you need to get rid of your stuff. I'm saying you want to keep what it is that you really like and what it is that really fits in your space, what it is that's going to be well used. And I think with the work of Marie Kondo, who's done a brilliant job of inviting people to be conscious of what they possess and keeping what it is that gives them joy, I think what gives you joy really fits in these three categories. If you follow these criteria, if you put things where they belong, if you ensure that you have enough space, it's going to help you embark on the process of letting go what no longer belongs. And so the focus isn't actually on clearing clutter or letting go. The focus is on what you keep, on what you possess, on what nourishes your life. When you have bookcases that are filled beautifully with the items that you love, your closet as well, your kitchen as well, that enhances your life. But when you have items strewn across your place because there isn't the space, that really creates anxiety and stress. And while going through the process of rearranging them might seem like it's stressful, it can actually be really life-affirming and enjoyable because you're having a conscious relationship with the things that you purchased for a reason. And when you let go of what no longer serves you, there's so much vitality that comes back. So keep in mind, this is all about what you get to keep, what you love, and having things fit in your space means that you feel, in a sense, that you're in the right place, that you fit in not just at home, but also in the wider world. I'm Mark Ainley from Sense of Space Contemporary Feng Shui. Thank you for tuning into this episode. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay tuned for more hints on how to enhance your home to enhance your life.